Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are best, and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our beloved community. Doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter what you've undone. All that matters is you're here now. So keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter what you've undone. All that matters is you're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are best, and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our beloved community. Uncovering who we are in our beloved community.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. I'm Nancy Reynolds, a member and former trustee at the center, and I'm so grateful to be here with you today and also with our inspiring band. Shall we thank them again? Always such a great kickoff to our service. We would like to extend a very special warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, if you would, please stand where you are and as you are able. We would like to bring to you a flower as a token of our welcome. And if you would prefer not to stand, you're welcome to also simply raise your hand so our two ladies here can find you. Yeah, welcome and thank you for being with us this morning. Before I go too far, I want to make sure to say hello and good morning to our live stream viewers and to say thank you for joining us this week, this Sunday, and every week that you join us. We know that you're there, and we are always so grateful that you are part of our community. Thanks for being here. So for anyone who is new or new-ish in the sanctuary with me today, I want to let you know that we have a packet for you. It looks like this. It's got information about our center, who we are, our teachings, and what we offer as a community. If you would like to grab one of those packets, you can do that at the information table right outside the sanctuary and also at the table near the entrance to the building. And new people and not so new people, if you would like more information about what is happening at our center each week and each month, we have a website for you. It's CSLSR.org. And there you'll find all kinds of useful information. In fact, everything that goes on at the center, as well as a nice, concise monthly bulletin that will put it all in one place for you that you can either download or open up and print. It has everything going on at the center throughout the month. You can find that by looking for the photo of the typewriter on our homepage. Now, I am happy to report that our youth and family program at the center is thriving. We have something for children of all ages, infants, toddlers, elementary age children, middle schoolers, and teenagers. And our program helps your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, all the children in your life get connected to our community and also grow on their own spiritual journeys. There are a number of ways to participate in our youth program, and so I want to make sure that you know who Jennifer Caldwell is. Jennifer is our youth coordinator, and she will be available in the social hall after the service to answer any questions and get you connected. You can also send her an email at youth@cslsr.org. Now, one of the things that I personally love about our center is our spiritual education program. And I wanted to mention that we have this fabulous education catalog available that covers the first half of this year. It'll help you and me, because I've gone through this whole thing, navigate our classes and workshops so that we can get involved even more in our own spiritual journeys. There's some great things in there, and I'm going to tell you about some of them at the end of the service. Now, would you please join me in speaking aloud our vision and mission as a community? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling vision of a healthy, loving world, which we call the global vision. This vision inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. We follow this vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. Would you read those with me as well? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. I trust that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and the message from Reverend Russ is exactly what each one of us is ready for and seeking for the next step of our spiritual journeys. Again, welcome, and thank you for being with us this morning. Now, I'd like to invite you to enjoy this next piece of music, which will lead us into a time of silent contemplation and prayer.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Oh, living Spirit, I am grateful, loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful, loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
Just breathing into this silence, letting our focus soften and open to the presence of God that surrounds us. It is the presence of love, of growth, of expansion, of joy. And so much more, and it fills the entire universe with these qualities. And all of its creation is unique and distinct and never separate from this divine presence. And as this is true of me, it's true of each person here. There's an eternal connection to divinity. We are never alone. And in this knowing, I invite us to consider all the gifts that are on our table. I accept the presence of this service as one of those gifts. Through the music, through the message, through the people sitting next to us, to all the volunteers giving service. That this service truly is a gift, and that each person here is enlivened and uplifted and filled up with what they came here for, with what they need, with a greater knowing and understanding of the presence of God in your life. And in thankfulness and gratitude for knowing this truth, I simply release this word into the law that always and only says yes. And I just let it be. And so it is. Good morning. And Happy New Year, too. My name is Wayne Carr, and I am a practitioner here at the center. And I invite you to read the affirmation with me. I start each day remembering the Spirit within me. Thank you.
On a getaway to a distant land, reality's written in a different hand. Still you recognize the call of graffiti on a temple wall. Scrawled on the bricks and mortar, it's calling you away, dissolving all your borders to recreate your field of play. Say so long to the way you used to think before. Say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Say yes to the rest of your destiny. Look out, here comes a brand new plan. Folks at home will never understand how this land got a hold on you. Can't explain it, but you know it's true. This place feels like a good friend. You'd think it would feel strange, and yet you're not afraid to let your whole life change. Say so long to the way you used to think before. Say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Say yes to the rest of your destiny. Move on from all you've known. Move into the great unknown. Say so long to the way you used to think before, and say goodbye to the way it used to be. There's a new world waiting. Open up your door to the rest of your destiny. Oh, say yes to the rest. It's all for the best, to be blessed with the rest of your destiny.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I feel like I should do the Happy New Year dance. Nancy was asking if she could do that before, and I didn't say no, but Happy New Year. So can we give some more love to our fabulous band? Christopher and Atreyu and Brett and Nick, thank you so much for waking us up with some beautiful music this morning and always, always, always picking the right tune. Now, It's the new year, and I am proud to declare that I am a huge fan of Star Trek. Why is only one person clapping? And I'm particularly a big fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that aired in the late 80s, early 90s. And with this series in particular, I think creator Gene Roddenberry wasn't just creating incredibly good science fiction entertainment, but he was also creating an ideal that he believed society could work toward. You see, in The Next Generation, very on, actually in the last episode of the first season, Captain Picard, who's played by the incredible Patrick Stewart, declares that the ideals of the society of the United Federation of Planets do not revolve around consumerism. Instead, they revolve around personal growth and evolution, the betterment of oneself. Their society is not structured around getting things. In fact, their society is structured around everyone having not just what they need to survive, but what they need to thrive. And that thriving is centered around exploration and evolution and growth. And it's not just for themselves individually, but with the larger goal of their whole society being uplifted. Now, what's striking about this society for me is that even though they have this incredible technology that means that anyone could quite literally, out of thin air, have any possession that they desire, they don't just get possessions. In fact, they possess only what it is that they need to fulfill that desire to better themselves. They derive their fulfillment instead through the relationships that they cultivate. And through this powerful drive to explore the universe in all of its flavors, and to embrace the differences that they see, rather than being afraid of them. And the thing that I love the most about this universe is that they are fiercely optimistic, even in the face of the greatest challenges. Now, this all sounds very familiar to me, and perhaps this kind of a society might sound familiar to you too, because in essence, it's kind of what our founder, Ernest Holmes, was talking about. It's what he teaches through the science of mind. Because you see, there's this foundational concept that is behind everything that Ernest teaches, and that is the idea, the singular idea that thought comes before everything that we see and experience in the world. That thought is, in fact, the first cause. And because we have power over our thought, that means then that we can change our world by changing our perception of what the world actually is, and by considering what it could be. And we do this by moving beyond our basest fears into faith that there is an intrinsic goodness baked into all of reality, just like the chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. Now, Ernest wasn't telling us that we have to ignore the problems that we see in the world. In fact, he said that if we see a problem, it's because we probably played a part in creating it, just a little bit. Instead, he encouraged us to have an attitude of optimism and possibility as we address these problems, because he knew that a positive frame of mind is far more effective in seeking out sustainable solutions to the problems that ail us. After all, if it turns out that many of the problems in the world that we experience are rooted in our fearfulness, in this false idea that there isn't enough to go around, then how could that fearful frame of mind ever contain a solution? It's commonly said that the consciousness that creates a problem is not the one that's going to solve it. And I'm fond of that wonderful phrase. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So one of the reasons that I love the new year is because it's a time when I get to, traditionally in my life, look toward that upcoming year, look toward 2024 in this case, and think about what might be possible. It's a time of optimism. And I tend to be a little bit of a problem solver. I'm looking at Linda back there. I know she knows this. And so I like to think about what are some of the solutions? What are some of the solutions to the lingering problems, not just in my life, but in the world around me? And I often find myself asking, how might I change some of my habits that aren't working so great for me? And maybe embrace a new way of being that won't just uplift my life, but uplift the lives of all of those who are around me. So I want to be clear, I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions here. I like to think of this practice going beyond that because often I find that, at least for me, my New Year's resolutions are rooted just a little bit in my ego. And every year, my ego likes to tell me things like, oh yeah, this is the year when I'm going to look like Chris Hemsworth. But I'm thinking at this point I've learned my lesson because that New Year's resolution gym membership never seems to stick. And what I found instead that's so much more helpful is a spiritual practice that we use here in our community called visioning. And let me tell you a little bit about it. Visioning, or spiritual practice of visioning, it's when we take that time to turn within and become contemplative, opening up to the wisdom and the intuition within us, within our heart of hearts. There's this part of us, this wise self with a capital S, that is compassionate and creative and courageous and optimistic. And I find that when I am able to open to that part of me by becoming still and quiet and receptive, then I can ask it questions. And you know what? It gives me answers. And it turns out that those answers are pretty inspirational. And so I get the answers and I write them down in my journal or on a piece of paper. If I don't have that, I kind of play them through my mind so that I remember them. And I do this, and this is very important, I do this without censoring myself and the answer that comes up or editing. Because that censoring and that editing, it turns out, well, that's coming from my ego wanting to get things perfect. Now, we won't have time on our service today to go through a full visioning process, but we do have our visioning workshop today that's happening at 1 p.m. So if you'd like to dive into that a little bit more and experience that, that's available to you. I don't know that Gene Roddenberry followed this exact visioning process, but I suspect that he must have had something similar when that idea for the Star Trek universe formed in his mind, because it's a universe that is rooted in compassion, in creativity, in possibility. I don't think those things could come from anywhere other than that wise inner self within him. What Gene Roddenberry was talking about is what we heard in our vision and mission statement. He was talking about a world, in fact, a universe that works for everyone. Now, that phrase, a world that works for everyone, that comes from our global vision, and there's a little bit more to it. And as I was doing my own contemplation in this new year, I was kind of turning within and seeing like, okay, what does that world that works for everyone look like? And my wise inner self came back to me and said, hey, we've already written this down, right? So I'd like to share with you today the full global vision for Centers for Spiritual Living, because I personally find it very inspiring, and I hope that you have that same experience. We envision all people, all beings, all life as expressions of God. Now, I'm going to add an addendum here. If you don't like that word God, if it might be triggering or challenging, you can use whatever word you like. You can say love, you can say the universe, you can say wholeness, whatever word works for you here. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. Now, I have to say, I think that Gene Roddenberry could get behind this vision, don't you? Our global vision, at its core, is grounded in that idea that there is no separation between you, between me, between anyone in the world. And that because we are all part of that same divine one, that we uplift ourselves when we uplift others, It's a vision that is grounded in optimism, focusing on what could be, rather than getting dragged down and mired in what currently is. And I find that this vision recognizes the possibility that one day we will evolve to the point of being a truly inclusive society. A society that prioritizes positive relationship with others over possessions. A true society where all are allowed the opportunity to grow and evolve on their path, whatever it is, in ways that enrich the whole and diminish no one. When I take the time to contemplate this vision, I have to consider for myself not just that it's possible, but that it's actually possible within my lifetime. And this is important for me because I find that if I'm putting this vision onto future generations to create this world, then it feels as though I am abdicating my own responsibility. Now, I recognize, because I'm a pragmatist and a problem solver, that we might not get there before I transition on to whatever the next step of consciousness is for me. And I recognize that it is a team effort. I'm not going to do it all by myself. I can't. I believe that we all have to choose this society for it to come true. But believing that it can be done in my lifetime, well, it's not optional for me. Because if I don't believe that, then I lose my optimism. That's why I'm so inspired by this community, because each and every day I see all of you showing up with that optimism, bringing just another one of those beautiful chocolate chips in that cookie that is our world, bringing the good with you. That sense of optimism, that's why I think that Star Trek has been so successful. It's been around since the 1960s, and we're in 2024. Its optimism has carried a message of inclusion and evolution for so many years, and it shows no sign of stopping. They're still making Star Trek shows. If you didn't know, they're actually really good. And I have to be honest, I haven't always been an optimistic person. Sometimes I struggle. Last month, I shared that it can be challenging to try and look for good in situations that really have no good, like war and oppression and poverty. But today, I'd like to talk about how we might actively seek out that good, how we might look for those chocolate chips and that delicious cookie, looking for it where we know that it does exist. Because I find that seeking out that good fuels my optimism and keeps it charged. And it reminds me that we actually can have a world that works for everyone in our lifetime. Last Sunday, I really appreciate how Dr. Edward was sharing his love of the Good News Network with us. And especially, you remember that story about the whale that they saved off the coast on San Francisco. That really inspired me. And I think that's such a good place to start. And I encourage you to check that out if you haven't checked it out. Because looking outward for that goodness is such a wonderful way to remind us that it is there when we look for it. But today I want to talk about another side of that optimism coin. And that's that we also can seek out that good within us. Now, for the longest time, I felt like I wasn't any good. In fact, I kind of felt like I was worthless. And so much so that I wanted to be invisible to the world because I felt like if I was in the world, I would be a burden to those around me because I was no good. And that mindset really influenced how I showed up in the world, or rather, how I didn't show up in the world. It's one of the main reasons that I couldn't find happiness, I couldn't find fulfillment. And I'm not going to focus on the causes of this belief because they're many and they're complex, but I do want to focus on how I found my way back from that abyss. One of the fundamental teachings of the science of mind is that there is an inherent goodness baked into reality. After all, reality couldn't exist if it were opposed to itself. And this is a concept that Ernest Holmes shares often in his writings. You see, he did not believe in a fickle universe, one that was judgmental, one that was made of half measures and opposites. Instead, he believed in a universe that is absolute in its being and absolute in its goodness. And so that idea that goodness is a core part of being is fundamental to what we teach here at the center. There's a trick. Ernest also teaches us that we're not going to experience that goodness until we open up to it. And so I learned this lesson through a lot of trial and error, with a heaping helping of accepting things just the way they are, and you can learn this too through the spiritual practices here at our center. And there's one practice, it's very simple, that I want to share today and that we can go through, and that is embracing the friendly affirmation. And so if it feels comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath, feeling the life and the goodness of that air as it fills your lungs. And I invite you to repeat out loud with me, I am fundamentally good. I don't have to do anything to get this goodness. My goodness naturally flows into the world. All right, keeping your eyes closed, take another deep breath, again feeling the goodness of life filling your lungs, and let out a sigh. Now, staying in this contemplative state, ask yourself, check in. As you spoke those words out loud, was there any part of you, even if just a little bit, that did not believe what you were saying about your inherent goodness? Now, maybe there wasn't, and that's great. But if you're like me, there might have been a little voice there that was saying, oh, I don't know if I believe that. And if there is, you can ask that voice, what is it that you need to actually believe that I am inherently good? Okay, let's take one more deep breath. Feeling that liveliness. Let it out. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. It's so good to see you. I promise you, that goodness is within you. And I found that the more I embrace my own inner goodness, well, that leads to optimism. And that optimism leads to being able to see new possibilities in the world. And being able to see new possibilities in the world is what I know will lead us to the solutions to the most glaring problems that we see in the world. Sustainable solutions that are inclusive of all and that diminish no one. I believe it is this intrinsic goodness that both Gene Roddenberry and Ernest Holmes believed in, because it shows in their seemingly boundless optimism. And so today I'd like to leave you with these words that I found from Gene Roddenberry that I find very inspiring. Reality is incredibly larger, infinitely more exciting than the flesh and blood vehicle we travel in here. If you read science fiction, the more you read it, the more you realize that you and the universe are part of the same thing. Science knows still practically nothing about the real nature of matter, energy, dimension, or time. And even less about those remarkable things called life and thought. But whatever the meaning and purpose of this universe, you are a legitimate part of it. And since you are part of the all that is, part of its purpose, there is more to you than just this brief speck of existence. You are just a visitor here in this time and this place, a traveler through it. So I invite us to take that into prayer. And as I breathe in the goodness of life myself, recognizing that it is in that air, in my lungs, in my body, in this entire life and reality existence, I know that there is only that good, only that one, only that wholeness and perfection. And I know that connecting all of this together is the power of unconditional love. And it is that unconditional love that I know I am one with here and now, knowing that that is one of the infinite ways that goodness makes itself known in this world. As me, as each and every person here today on our live stream, I know that that goodness is here now. That goodness is infinite, and that love is infinite. And I claim for us here and now an opening, an invitation for our hearts to open, to allow that goodness that has always been there and always will be to come forth, to make itself known, to express itself in this world through our actions, through our ideas, through our relationships. I call that good forth, knowing that it is the truth of reality. Even though I know I don't always see it, sometimes I cannot see it, I say here and now that I am open to that good. And I invite each and every heart here as well to express that good into the world. And so I embrace optimism, I embrace possibility, knowing that this world that can work for everyone, it is possible. And I call it forth. I call it forth, and whatever actions need to happen for that to be so. And so I am grateful for that, grateful for each and every heart that is open to expressing that goodness in the world. And with this gratitude, I release these words into the action of that law of mind that always, always, always acts upon what it is given. I let it go, I let it be, and I invite us all to seal this prayer together by saying, and so it is. Okay, so now is the time of our service where we get to practice another spiritual practice that you saw on our list of 5 spiritual practice, and that is spiritual circulation. And at our center, we have a number of ways that if you choose to give financially that you can give. Some people like to mail us a check, and we have our address available on our website as well as at our info desk. We also have online giving here at cslsr.org/donate. And we have text to give, where you can send a text message to that phone number, 707-675-2399. And if it's your first time, it will help you to set up your payment method. And then every subsequent time, you can just send it a number. I like to put in $1 million. And it will automatically apply that donation for you. It's very fast and easy. I use it myself because it's so convenient. We also have auto giving if you like to really affirm your commitment to the success of our center and just know that, yes, I am giving every week. Linda Han at our info desk, she can help you to set that up. And we will pass the baskets today. And before we do, though, I invite us to enter into our offering ritual. And so if you like, find your way back into that place of goodness. And I invite you to repeat after me. I bless my gifts. I send them forth to heal and prosper. They do amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Well, the problem is not what you haven't got. You may have everything you need, and the proof can be found springing from the ground. There's a mighty tree from just a little seed. No, what we want here is to be very clear and put our heart's desire first till we make up our mind. We're sure to find the questioning voice of the universe, asking what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will make you free. Well, you don't need to know just how it's gonna go. Give the details up for now, when there's nothing between you and your dream. That's more important than the when, where, or how, 'cause life's a precious goal is an ember in your soul, waiting to become a fire. And no matter the choice, there's always a voice saying, I will give you more than you can desire. Just tell me what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will make you free. Do it here, ask it now, make it clear just exactly how, and tell me what What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what, just tell me what will bring you peace. Or tell me what, just tell me what will make you free. Ooh. Oh, intention.
What a perfect song for this first Sunday of the year. Thank you so much for that. Before I share with you what's going on around here, Christopher has a special invitation.
Perhaps you heard the choir that we started up this past year performing at our service on Christmas Eve, and perhaps you love to sing and would enjoy singing in this group but have never sung in a choir and think it's not for you. Well, I'd like to hear from you. I'd like for you to contact me so that I can sit with you and assess your singing ability and see if it is for you to try. I record all of the various parts, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, for our choir to learn their parts before each rehearsal. So it doesn't matter if you read music or not. So if you're sitting there or at home thinking about singing with us, then won't you talk to me after the service or send me an email? My email address can be easily found by searching under staff on our website at CSLSR.org. I hope to hear from you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, let's find out what is going on around here, starting with today. Reverend Russ mentioned his visioning workshop. That is happening this afternoon, and quite frankly, who better to lead that than Reverend Russ, especially after that beautiful message today. That workshop is at 1 o'clock today, and here's what Russ says about it. It's a great opportunity to open yourself to the guidance, inspiration, and wisdom of Spirit within you. We will be creating vision boards together so you can take home an inspiring reminder to help you stay motivated as your vision becomes reality. You can still sign up for this workshop, by the way. You can do that by stopping at the information desk or the computer kiosk right next to the desk. Just be sure to get signed up before 1 o'clock because it will start promptly on the hour. And that will give you as much time as possible to work on your vision boards. You can also join Reverend Russ this Wednesday at our Wednesday evening service. That's at 7 p.m. in the social hall on Wednesday. This week, we will explore spiritual practices and tools we can adopt to help bring our 2024 visions to life. And we will have cookies, tea, and freshly baked bread, and, a sing-along with Chris Ritchie. Did you know that? There'll be a sing-along with Chris Ritchie.
When?
Wednesday.
You can sing along.
I only tell you what Russ tells me to tell you, so that's what it says to tell you. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have a fabulous education calendar for the first half of the year. Let me talk about a few of those classes that are coming up soon. And I'll cue this up. I'll cue up the first class by asking a couple of questions. Do you ever wonder how spiritual principles relate to your finances? Did you know that both giving and receiving are powerful spiritual practices? Well, you'll find out all about this and more in Dr. Edwards' upcoming spiritual circulation class, which is being offered both in person and on Zoom. And here's the best part. If you filled out a giving intention form for 2024, you get to take this class at no charge. And yes, you do still have time to fill out a giving intention card for this year if you haven't already, but just barely because the class starts on Tuesday. You can find out more details about the class by going to our website, click on the photo of the wheel, and if you don't know what a giving intention form is, I invite you to stop by the information desk. They can answer that question for you. Next, if you love body-centered healing tools, be sure to check out our Jin Shin Jitsu workshop led by Donna Lamke. That will be on Sunday, January 21st from 1 to 3. And you'll learn about this powerful body-centered healing modality and how it can uplift your life. You can sign up on the website, look for the photo of the hand with the rainbow. And then on that following Tuesday, January 23rd, Reverend Sayota Bell will be leading our core class, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. If you're just getting started with the Science of Mind teaching, or if you feel like you're ready for a refresher, this is a great class. And Reverend Sayota says she will guide you through the basics of our teaching and how it can help you uncover old ways of thinking that maybe aren't working so well and swap them out for new beliefs rooted in love and possibility. You can sign up for this class on the website, look for the photo of the clouds. And I want to also make sure that you know that for this core class, we offer scholarships to help offset the cost of the class. And if you are interested, just send an email to Reverend Russ, and he will get the information to you on that. Now, let's talk about music. Sonoma County, you may know, has a lot of incredible music, and I'm excited to announce that our center is going to be part of that music scene, as we are bringing back our resident kirtan master, Mangalananda. Mark your calendar to join us on Sunday, January 28th, 4 p.m. for a full kirtan concert from Mangalananda, as he helps us remember the Spirit through in. That's a new word, by the way. As he helps us remember Spirit within through his inspiring music. And the music doesn't end there. We'll be bringing back Karen Drucker for a sweet Wednesday evening, Valentine's Day, music and spoken word experience. We love Karen, and I know this Valentine's Day will be filled with music, poetry, community, and of course, love. That's on February 14th, 7 p.m. And because our events are so important to our community, the center is working on hiring a part-time events coordinator. If you or someone you know would enjoy contributing their detail-oriented planning skills with our community, and if you love to create and orchestrate fun and engaging events, we'd like to connect with you. You can stop by the information desk and talk to Linda, or you can get the information and job description on the website. Look for the photo of the clocks. Okay, last thing for me before I turn this over to our January nonprofit partner. We have a new art exhibit in the social hall brought to us by artist Connie Cook. Be sure to check that out on your way out the door. Yes, that's worth cheering for. That does mean that our 2023 art fundraiser has come to an end. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you who donated art and all of the congregants who bought art. And of course, to the team that coordinated the fundraiser, Bob Hart, Carrie Manwiller, and Daniel Celador, for all of their efforts and the hours and hours they spent to ensure this would be a success. And I want to tell you, it was a huge success. Thanks to all of you, we raised over $17,000 for our center. Yeah, really well done. Now, I'd like to introduce a video from our January nonprofit partner, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Bay Area. You can find out more about them and chat with their VP of Program, Impact, and Innovation, who will be with us in the social hall today. That's Allison Rhodes. Please stop to say hi to her. And yeah, let's watch that video.
Hi, I'm Joanna Riley. I'm our Chief Development Officer here at Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bay Area. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much to you, the members of Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, for choosing Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bay Area as one of your 2024 nonprofit partners. We are so grateful and incredibly honored. January is Mentoring Month, and with your support, we are excited and committed to creating even more of the transformational one-to-one mentorship relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. We believe there is no better way to getting to know our program and our mission than hearing directly from the matches that we make and support. So with that, I hope you enjoy getting to know James and Zakari and their story. Thank you again.
My name is Zakari.
My name is James Vasugi.
I've been matched with James for 9 years.
He was 6 years old, we started. He's now 15, will turn 16 this year. And I was also a lot younger, almost like a little myself.
Do you think your mom signed you up for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
I think my mom signed me up because I was very antisocial as a kid. I didn't interact with anybody in my class, but now I'm glad she signed me up because now I'm a social butterfly. I like to socialize with people. James helped me overcome my mood swings and stuff because he was so patient with me. You know, when I would have my little meltdowns, he'd always react in a positive way, and I think that really helped me. The past 9 years have been amazing. He's like really inspirational, and I think he's a really good person.
It's a beautiful thing seeing Zakari go from this little kid to now this adult, this young man. He's like physically like my little brother. Zakari and I are always going to be together, and there's going to be ups and downs the rest of his life and in my life. But one thing is certain, that we're always going to be in each other's life, and nothing is going to get in the way of that.
And I think it's just amazing that we've been matched for so long. Like, James is a part of my life now, permanently.
So I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to support Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the Bay Area. And if you are new and you don't know, our center, every month we have a different non-partner partner who we feature here, and we support them throughout the year with a portion of the contributions that you provide us here at our center. And we're so grateful to have that opportunity to give back to the larger community, because we know that is how we all help to create a world that works for everyone. So it is now time for us to close out our service, but before we do, if you are needing spiritual support, if you're looking for prayer, for spiritual guidance, our practitioners are happy to pray with you after service today. And if you're here in the sanctuary, you can talk to Vicki back there in the corner by the white table, and she will direct you to a practitioner who's happy to pray for whatever your heart desires. We also have prayer available online for all those who are on Zoom, and that link should be up on your screen for you to be able to join that. And those prayers are confidential and one-on-one. So please don't let anything get in the way of you getting spiritual support if you are looking for it. We're happy to support you. Okay, I invite you to stand if you are able and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you're never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and inspired by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything we do and say and think, we carry this divine optimism within. And so it is. Enjoy the closing music and have a wonderful week.
yes, peace